Thank you so much for joining us for this event. My name is Arlene. I am the marshal for this event of the 2Rivers Festival. Welcome to the Tributaries to the Rivers Song Competition. This event is the closing event of the 10th annual 2Rivers Festival that celebrates and appreciates the Speed and Aramasa rivers. The theme of this year's festival has been at the confluence of rivers, peoples, and their stories. The festival is organized and run by volunteers and involves many community organizations. Please support these organizations that are doing good work here in our community. Please also support our advertisers and our event sponsors, CFRU, Mike Schreiner and the Green Party of Ontario, and Mickey Shepherd, who made this event possible. You can see all our advertisers on our website. This year we had over 40 great events, and a few of them were actually able to be in person. This festival is a project of the Wellington Water Watchers, and it is our hope that if we celebrate and fall in love with our rivers, we will want to protect them. So just a few housekeeping details. We will be recording this event to share. And if you do not feel comfortable with that, please know that you can turn off your video. An important caveat tonight, we are navigating tricky internet connections this evening, so please bear with us. I think all of us now, a year and a bit into this pandemic experience, have lots of experience with Zoom, and we're going to do our best to just navigate these glitches. One of the parts of that I find so incredibly humanizing is that we get to see each other also sometimes in our elements with other noises and experiences in the background that are just all part of life. You've been muted due to the number of people we have here tonight and to keep everything moving smoothly, but we do want to hear from you. So please feel free to use the chat box to share your reactions and thoughts throughout tonight's event. And please also feel free to use the chat box to introduce yourself and where you're from and what rivers support you, what waters support you in your life. Please remember to keep our event space inclusive, kind, and respectful. If you wish, you can change your name to include your programs. And now I'm going to pass it over to you, Siobhan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Siobhan Blanco, and I'm the 2Rivers Festival Coordinator. And I'd like to welcome you to our first ever 2Rivers Festival Tributary to the Rivers Songwriting Competition. We tried to run this event last year, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we weren't able to run it. So we're really excited to bring it to you virtually. The theme of the songs this year are aligned with the theme of the 10th 2Rivers Festival, which is at the confluence of rivers, peoples, and their stories. And we're super excited and proud to present our top 5 finalists. Tragedy Ann, which is made up of Liv Cazzola and Braden Phelan, Shannon Kingsbury, Rick Boersma, Doris Folkens and Graham Lindsay, and Carolyn Ross. We would also like to make an honorable mention to Jim Dyer, who is a semifinalist and submitted a song that we're actually going to hear a portion of today. Just so you're all aware, our contestants' applications will be judged on the following categories: their relation to the theme, the lyrics, the melody, and authenticity. And these are the prizes we have. So our first place prize is a $200 gift card to Long and McQuaid. Our second place prize is a $50 gift card that was generously donated by Park Deli and Grocery. And our third place is a $25 gift card also donated by Park Deli and Grocery. And we also are excited to have a People's Choice Award. So later on, you, the audience, get to vote on your favorite contestant, and we'll have a poll available for that. Next up, I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed judges, who will also be providing us with beautiful performances tonight. First up, we have Amalia Bordelon-Veeder. Amalia is a guitarist and multidisciplinary researcher who is completing their MA in Critical Studies in Improvisation. Amalia has recorded and produced multiple albums that have received national praise. Their current musical project is Bonnie Trash. Alongside their sister, Serafina, and co-creator of the group, Bonnie Trash blends Northern Italian folklore with creative research to present modern horror stories. Amalia's work in the local arts community includes coordinating the the Girls Rock Camp Guelph chapter, live music and theater curation, and live sound engineering. Our next up is Serafina Bordelon-Viter, who is Amalia's twin. Serafina is a Guelph-based musician and artist. She is a songwriter, singer, and drummer in the psych-goth post-rock band Bonnie Trash with her twin sister Amalia. Bonnie Trash has performed at several music festivals in Canada. She has directed Bonnie Trash's music videos, wrote the theme song for an award-winning web series, Wholesome Foods, I Love You, and her song Rules of Youth is featured in Pavan Mundi's film, Every Day is Like Sunday. As a coordinator and teacher of Girls Rock Camp Guelph, got it right that time, Sarah enjoys hearing the brilliant songs the campers write and seeing them work together. She recently completed a Master of Education in Educational Leadership, where she wrote a report on the barriers that prevent women from entering the music industry. Next, I have Alanna Gurr. Alanna is a graceful storyteller and mesmerizing performer. Alanna Gurr is a bold and unique voice in the world of contemporary Canadian songwriting. With work that presents stories of personal growth paired with a desire to experience life and love in their fullest and most honest forms. Gurr's thoughtful and introspective lyrics are both comforting and assertive. Whether she's supported by her minimal rock outfit or solo on stage, Gurr's deeply felt and carefully conceived songs are served sublimely by her smooth voice and precision. And last up, my notes are wrong. Give me 2 seconds to pull up one more bio that I did not copy. I'm so sorry.
No problem. I can
Thank you, Arlene.
for you while you do that. I don't know about you all, but I think, we have a high caliber of contestants submitting their incredible work. Oh, my dog is whining outside my door, part of that human bit. And like an incredible caliber of judges, like I don't know if you've seen the socials lately, but they've just been, it's like these people are amazing. Thank you for joining us. And you just let me know when you're ready, Siobhan.
Okay. I got the one I was missing here. Okay, perfect. So next up, I have Shane Phillips. And Shane Phillips is a singer-songwriter who was raised in a family of singers on the banks of the Grand River in a farm town, Canada. His devotion to singing flourished early on as a young child, where from a church choir in his elementary years, he transitioned into classical Italian opera. It is here where he developed the foundation for what is now his immeasurable strength and technical ability as a singer. As a writer, Shane's songs have been used in film and TV, and he has also written compositions for community-based organizations. As an actor, singer, dancer, he has starred in a variety of musicals, including We Love Harry Belafonte, Sweet Soul Music, as well as The Rat Pack, playing Sammy Davis Jr., gracing stages all across North America and Europe. As luck would have it, Phillips eventually became a contestant on the nationally televised show The Voice, and more recently sang with living legend Stevie Wonder at the Scotia Centre in Toronto. Holy. And last but not least, we have Katherine Wheatley. Guelph singer-songwriter Katherine Wheatley grew up as number 4 of 6 kids in Parry Sound, Ontario. Acoustic roots with catchy melodies, arresting vocals, great guitar playing, lyrics that get you and that you get. These are all things that have been written over and over again about her music. She sings truth bravely and in detail. Katherine has won awards for composition, arranging, and songwriting. In addition to touring across Canada, the US, and Europe as a solo singer-songwriter, Katherine is a member of the Toronto band Betty and the Bobs, performs with Tana Slimman and Angie Newsey in the winter trio Boreal, and plays with Wendell Ferguson in the hilarious and moving duo Wendell and Wheat. She has written and recorded over 200 songs with kids through her youth songs program, and is in high demand for her innovative songwriting and music workshops. Katherine works as a singer and Zodiac driver on board the MS expedition as it plies the seas of the Antarctic and the Norwegian Arctic. Next up, we have a performance from Katherine Wheatley. So sit back and enjoy.
Mute myself. Am I good? Okay, thank you.
Good.
Amelia, I saw that. Great. What a treat to be here with all of you. I'll get right to it because I know there's a lot to cover. This is just a song that I wrote about the water. It's called Water Moves Me. There's a line in it, water always moves me. I hope you'll catch on. I hope you'll yell it with me. Just sing along with me. Okay, here we go. There's a place where I go. Nobody but me will ever know. And there's a tree there that lends its bough. That's where I like to hang out. There's a river running fast. Rivers make me cry. Rain and snow, rivers and the ocean. Water always moves me. There the water's running down. That's just about my favorite sound. There's a raft that never broke free. I guess it's hanging on just like me. There's a river running fast. Rivers make me cry. Rain and snow, rivers and the ocean. Water always moves me. And there's a place I grew up. It's on Georgian Bay. That's why I like, that's why I love, that's why I love the water so much. And there's a rock I dive from. Well, you know, I like to take the plunge, yes I do. There's a river running fast. Rivers make me cry. Rain and snow, rivers and the ocean. Water always moves me. Some people prefer air and some people prefer fire. Some people prefer earth for their identity. Water moves me, and I bet it moves you too. I know it moves you too. Yay.
Oh, wow. Katherine, thank you
Oh, my pleasure.
so much. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I know so many people are talking about how in these COVID times we're aching and desperate for live music. And yet I appreciate so deeply the ways that, we've been able to navigate in the Zoom world and have these moments of like these authentic expressions. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed singing it for you, and I saw some smiling faces, and so that makes a big difference.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. And I think right now we are going to move into the portion of our program where we are going to hear a little bit from our contestants. And so I know each of you are very probably, excited to be here, maybe brought some folks along with you. And we are going to hear the way that we planned this event this year, just kind of assuming we would have to do this online. So we invited our contestants to submit a video as their submission. And that's what we will be sharing this evening. So first up, I'm going to introduce Rick Boersma. Rick lives in Guelph and has many parts and part-time pursuits. He's a game designer, illustrator, facilitator, canoe guide, landscaper, father, and Paik, partner, friend, and sometimes songwriter. And maybe we'll hear more about Paik when he joins us. So I think that if all is queued up, we're going to watch Rick's video right now.
2Rivers meet, they meet in my town. Merge their waters and continue down. You can drift in their currents or you can paddle hard. They'll churn you, they'll charm you if you let down your guard. In the heart of the city, just steps away, 2Rivers all running, they're calling my name. Step into the wild and pass through the door. Escape for an hour, push off from the shore. One's called the speed. It flows from the north. When the spring thaw comes, it'll build to a roar. Swift currents and sweepers, ice sheets and shards. It'll toss ya, it'll turn ya if you let down your guard. In the heart of the city, just steps away, 2Rivers all running, they're calling my name. Step into the wild and pass through the door. Escape for an hour, push off from the shore. The Aramosa is subtle. It flows from the east through a cedar-filled valley, home to ducks and geese, osprey and deer, a beaver under the stars. It'll hear ya, it'll hush ya if you let down your guard. In the heart of the city, just steps away, 2Rivers all running, they're calling my name. Step into the wild and pass through the door. Escape for an hour, push off from the shore. In the heart of the city, just steps away, 2Rivers all running, they're calling my name. Step into the wild and pass through the door. Escape for an hour, push off from the shore.
Woo! Ow! Awesome, Rick. Thanks so much. I wonder if all of us in the audience that are visible can just just give a little love. If you're in your own space, in your own room, like find some way to show some love. And thank you, Rick, for that incredible song. Woo! Yeah, like some folks are popping it in the chat. However you can do it, that's really, really great. Wonderful. So great to hear from you. Okay, so next up, we have Carolyn Ross, who is a friend of mine, pleased to say. Carolyn Ross enjoys learning about the land, about teaching kids, and about playing music with rivers, plants, and friends. And I know that to be so true of her. So Carolyn, I'm so pleased that your song made it to our finalists, and here we go. We're going to showcase you.
Oh, river flowing free, do you have any advice for me? You're an elder and a friend of mine. Oh, river, you take your time. Oh, river, I'll tell you my fear. One day this water will run clear, from a glacial valley into a slow-moving stream. Oh, river, you show that time is deep. I go to the river to help me find my way. River is old, knows what to say. Grateful for the lakes, streams, and the rains. Live and breathe on the land and in my veins. Oh, river, help me understand what my place is on this stolen land. My ancestors are far away. Oh, river, it seems I'm here to stay. Oh, river flowing free, I'll take care of you, please take care of me. You've been running so long. Oh, river, I wrote you this song. Oh, river, I wrote you this song.
Sound of the river.
I love that it's got the beginning and ends like in real lifetime. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Carolyn and friends, Alicia and Louisa there. Oh, that song, I think I've heard it before now in my own world too, and gotten into my bones. So thank you. I wonder if all of us here can find a way to show our love, whether it's in the chat or your finger snapping if you're visible. Show our love for this beautiful song that made it to our finals. So thank you, Carolyn. All right. So next up, we have Shannon Kingsbury. Shannon Kingsbury is a singer, songwriter, harpist, and music educator based in Guelph. Her music dives deep into internal landscapes of dream, archetype, and emotion. Shannon's musical works include 2 solo albums, and composing directing for Ondine Chorus. Aramasa River is a collection with author Nicholas Ruddock. And without further ado, we're going to pass it over to Shannon's submission.
Once I lived by the side of the river Hermosa with my mother and father and the woods around. We'd swim in the currents and fish in the shallows and watch raccoons hunt the crayfish down. And the moon would rise slowly from the Campbellville Road, and bats would swoop lowly as stars explode. My parents and I, 3 years we would spend, River Hermosa, shimmer and bend. Cool was the water where I learned to swim. Spring by the mill pond, dragonfly skin, red-tailed the hawk, plummeting down, circle of feathers askance on the ground. Thunder and lightning, hail and snow, a calendar turning 10 years ago. A cottage, 3 windows, a candle, a well, stove run on wood, a quarter moon spell. The hair and the waxwing, the paddle, the sigh, mist from the cedars, a kingfisher cry, marigold, crocus, sumac, blood red, bulrushes, catkins, asleep in our beds. Ice jam, ice cracking, the owl and the mouse, wind in the larches, branch scraping the house, dark eyes at the window pane, river gone wild, sweepers with fingers, awakening child. We moved to the city, to Liverpool Street, and all of a sudden it was people we'd meet, friends in the schoolyard, sidewalk back home, fox and the martin left on their own. And the moon would rise slowly from the Campbellville Road, and bats would swoop lowly as stars explode. My parents and I, 3 years we would spend, River Hermosa, and
Wow. Thank you, Shannon, who I also can call a friend of mine too. Some of you folks I have had the pleasure of meeting and some not, but I'm amazed at the incredible wealth of talent in this community of ours. And Shannon, and with your accomplice in that one, Nicholas, that was an exquisite piece that tells such an exquisite story of these areas that I feel so fond of too. Thank you so much. If everyone in the audience can find a way to show your love, either in the chat or in your snaps or in your some way of showing your love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Okay. And next up, we're going to move to two other amazing local musicians. And this duo is called Tragedy Ann. This is Liv Cazzola and Braden Phelan. Tragedy Ann is a forward-looking folk duo from Guelph, Ontario. With intimacy and care, Liv Cazzola and Braden Phelan favor a flashlight over a spotlight in songs for community, nature, and hardworking hospital staff, braiding organic vocal harmonies with accordion, singing saws, guitars, and ukulele. Tragedy Ann's arrangements are as delicate as they are driving. And so let's hear from them.
Raindrops hold the memory of all the lives they've lived, every ocean they've swayed with, the feel of baby skin. The rain that's dancing in us is softly reminding. Their love flows ever forward in an endless stream. I care for the water cares for me. A songbird will wake up a verse, the forest hums refrain. Every song they've ever known was sung in water's name. The blood that flows between the hunter and respected prey. Robin on a rainy day, worm held in her beak, sings, I care for the water cares for me. I care for the water cares for me. The river feeds my family tree and flows in everything. To disrespect the river is to disrespect my kin. I'll follow it with gentle tread to see which way it's winding. Tree between the mountain's toes, snow stuck in its teeth. I care for the water cares for me. I care for the water cares for me. I care for the water cares for me. I care for the water cares for me.
Wow. Thank you, Braden and Liv. as an incredibly sort of intimate expression. Interesting how you like faced away from the camera there too. That was just a really beautiful expression from some deep-seated affection for the waters. Thank you. Let's find a way, each one of us, to show our love for Braden and Liv. You can pop it in the chat, snap with fingers, share your love. Thank you. That was really beautiful. And last but absolutely not least, we are welcoming here to the stage Graham Lindsay and Doris Volkins. Doris Volkins is a singer-songwriter in Guelph who enjoys writing lyrics that have a big message. She spent many hours exploring the trails on Guelph's rivers. Graham is a multi-instrumentalist composer and kayaks the Rideau River in Ottawa as often as possible. They combined forces in 2020 to write the song Crossflow Waters for this very songwriting competition. And the song made it to Graham's 2020 album, The Next Best Thing. Both this album and Doris's self-titled 2018 album received radio play across Canada. The video version recorded last year for this competition also features a special guest appearance by Graham Cat Oliver. Over to Graham and Lindsay.
Mist rises from rivers deep as light is dawning, where the Aramosa and the Speed join across the waters, through wetlands and county fields. Waters feed our gardens, feeding all who live round here near these crossflow waters. Strength is in our rivers, winding like a thread. Through our fields and cities, our lives a watershed. Channel rain and melting snow, south to lakes and ocean. Keep 'em rushing deep and clear, so we can always live round here near these crossflow waters. Strength is in our rivers, winding like a thread. Through our fields and cities, our lives a watershed.
There's the cat at the end making the debut. Oh, so beautiful, Graham and Doris. That it's such a pleasure for me because I've listened to these songs a few times and I find myself just like bopping away over here as I listen to them. That's a lovely expression of the way the two rivers here meet in Guelph. So I just want to take a moment to have folks show their love for Graham and Doris's song. Thank you so much for that beautiful song. Please take a moment to show your love. love the sound effects. Okay, so everyone, that wraps up our 5 finalists, which is super exciting. And so we have our fantastic judges here, and we're going to hear a bit more from our judges over the course of this evening. But in this moment right now, we're going to invite our judges to head off into a breakout room to discuss and deliberate, and based on the criteria that we had outlined, they're gonna join a breakout room right now, and they'll join us back in short order. And for us, while we are here, we decided, and I'm so grateful for this suggestion that came to us, is that we wanted a people's choice voting options, which means that you, as an audience member here, you are going to have an opportunity also to share in what you think is kind of really represents. And it's so hard. I know, I saw that comment in the chat. It's just, how do you know? How do you pick? So there is no criteria for the people's choice, I would say. We're just going with what you feel really inspired by. And the other thing that I just wanted to mention before we initiate that as a poll is that this songwriting competition was dreamed of 2 years ago. So we had dreamed it up, and we had intended to have the first songwriting competition as part of last year's 2Rivers Festival. And of course, as we all know, there was, the pandemic hit. And so there were a number of people that made submissions to our competition. And then we just did not, in that short time period, know how to turn it around and make it useful or viable and worthy of the way that folks contributed to this. So we just paused it. And so a number of those folks resubmitted and are part of this year's, and a number of them made it to the finalists. So that's just a little bit of a background. Our intention with this is to make it an annual event, that the songwriting competition will be annual, and it will become the theme song hosted by our festival. So I am just going to, I think we are right now going to initiate the poll. Here we go. So it's up here. And we are inviting each one of you to just take a moment and identify. You'll find the way in your, I don't even know how that happens. Danny, can you tell us how that happens? People are doing it. They know.
Yeah, so you should just have a window up on your screen there that allows you to vote. And I'm going to leave this open actually while we do some of our next stuff as well. If you want to transition us there, Arlene.
Sorry, I was muted. While we are watching the poll results come in, and everybody feel free to join in on that, we wanted to take a moment to make an honorable mention. Again, this is an individual in our community who cares a lot about these rivers and waters, and who took time to make a submission both last year and for this year too. And we feel that there's so much about the submission that we just really wanted to commemorate and mention. And we are going to work with Jim Dyer, who we will introduce in a moment, to work with this incredible song he's created. Now there are some other complexities because Nestle is now a Blue Triton, but we just wanted to really take a moment to acknowledge the contribution of Jim Dyer. So if you can cue up a little clip from Jim's submission here.
Free-flowing water belongs out there. A natural resource that's needed everywhere. A clear, cool drink ought to be free. No, they say it's a commodity.
reality. Some will say I'm just on a rent. But stop the madness, shut down the planet.
So you can see Jim has put a ton of like care and passion and heart into this, and I'm really grateful for your submission, Jim. Jim actually submitted 2 songs, and both of which were, it was a tough call to define our finalists. So we appreciate your contribution, and we are so interested in working with Jim on that song. Stop the Madness is really all about, you know, what we're inviting folks into in this festival. So thanks very much, Jim. And I think you're in the audience, so I hope you're feeling the love and appreciation. All right, so I think that we have had some time for our judges to make their way back into this room. And I think from here, we are going to take a moment to hear from each one of our judges. We've asked each judge to, give some reflections and thoughts on each one of our finalists. And this way, the intention is that our finalists, all of them, of course, like winners in this big game, but all of them having some, useful and productive comments shared their way. So I just need to pull up who's first. Judge recording performances first. Oh yes, we're doing some. That's right. That's right. So I can't recall who's up right now, but I think it's going to tell us who's up right now. We're going to hear from the judges' performances because I think they still need a little bit more time. So here we are.
You've got a kind of gentle way they'll remember for all my days, and a quiet pride that keeps you moving. But it's been a while since you came calling, and the weight of my love couldn't keep you here, and the weight of my love couldn't hold you dear. Calling out your name, singing sweet and low, like those old songs that we sing, and it's leaving on your mind half the time, even though I'm in your heart and your mind. Late at night, looking up at that old big black sky, will you think of me and all the love we've had? So when you think of me, it won't be so bad.
will say.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Alanna. And I'm going to upfront apologize for my awkward introduction. I guess I kind of messed up on how that was going to go. But Alanna, that was fabulous. You know, again, my heart like aches for live performance these days. And, you know, I so deeply appreciate the way that this can happen, you know, in this way that we meet each other now, which often is online. Hopefully soon we'll be able to be in person too. But it's so nourishing to hear you give in of yourself from your own home environs. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think next up right now, we have the duo called Bonnie Trash. And Bonnie Trash are a combination of these siblings that we've met earlier. So Serafina and Emelina, or Emilia. I apologize for saying that wrong. So I'm going to welcome you both to the stage right now. Thank you. I love that amazing applause, and that was incredible. Wow, I just had a little rock party over here. And it's amazing. I invite you all to like check the chat out, particularly Amalia and Serafina, to check that chat out. There was a lot of love coming your way during that amazing, incredible exposure for me, new artists. I heard that from a few folks. So great to hear your powerful expression in the world. Thanks so much for all of that. And so I am wondering, I've got to keep track of a few things here. Getting there, how much time needed? Okay, we're still getting there with our judges. They're having a really hard time, as you can imagine. Danny, what do you got?
I was just gonna suggest, so the judges need a little bit more time to make their decisions, but I wondered if we could potentially have a couple of the contestants, if you wanted to make any comments about the other contestants' submissions, because they're all so fabulous. So I don't know if anyone feels called to share potentially. Graham, I see you nodding your head up there. Do you potentially want to say something? Okay, that's awesome.
I just want to say every one of the submissions was just outstanding. That was just so good to see. And I liked how all I'm a video producer. That's my main gig. And just to see all the different ideas, shooting, everyone shot by water except us. We had to do it a little bit differently because we were doing it from two different cities. And it was a little colder when we were recording, but to see Liv and Braden facing away, as was already mentioned, that was just a cool visual idea. And to hear all the good music is just so outstanding. It fills my heart. Thank you very much. I'm gonna be quiet because I talk too much.
Thanks so much, Graham. Shannon, did you want to say something?
Sure. Well, yeah, I'm just blown away. I was, if anyone saw me, I was blubbering, just crying every song. Just really moved by all the beauty, and there's such an expression of care that each song has shown, care and love for the waters. So yeah, moved. I also wanted to shout out to my collaborator, Nicholas Ruddick, who is an author, and he has a new book out, by the way. And his the song that we shared, those were his words, and it's about his experience growing up on the Aramosa River. And the year I was born, 1978, his family bought this wood-fired cabin from Robert Bateman, the artist. So our song was about that, which is a neat little piece of history. Anyhow, thank you so much, everybody. I'm yeah, really moved and delighted to be here. And it feels like a gift. Just, I don't love contests, but I love hearing all of you. That feels like such a gift tonight. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Shannon. And I was saying the same thing, that it is a contest, but I feel like everyone is winners at this point because the quality of every submission is just incredible. It was really, really great. Tragedy Ann, do you want to say something as well?
Hi there. I think we have our, yeah, we're video on and whatnot. Hi,
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I want to second what Shannon was saying, in that generally I'm not a fan of songwriting competitions or competing when it comes to the arts like this, but I really made an exception with this because I knew that the organization is coming from such a good place, and I loved the theme, and I mean, what else am I doing right now? So I really wanted to thank Hillary Steed, who I don't think is on this call, but she over the course of this spring has provided a space for Liv and I to write in her backyard, which has been such a dream and a real blessing for the two of us. And the song that we played was written there. And yeah, everyone did such a terrific job, and I loved having a positive theme to work from. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking how awesome it is that no one got an instruction to go by the river and sing, and yet there was footage from the river for every single person. I just think that's really telling with this community. We want to be there, and we want to be inspired by it, and we are all the time, and it's such a blessing. So yeah, this has been beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you. Doris, do you want to come on and say something?
Yeah, oh, wait a second. We've got some. Okay, now it's working. We've got two computers going side by side here. So, yeah, I really enjoyed all of the songs, and it's great. I haven't been so connected in the past year with the Guelph community, the music community, so it's really great to meet up in this context again and hear everyone's lyrics. And yeah, I don't really have anything more to say than I just really enjoyed all the songs, and I look forward to seeing everyone in person again sometime soon, and maybe even along the river.
Short and sweet. I love it. And last but not least, Rick, do you want to come on?
Sure, yeah. Hi, everyone. It was funny. All week, I was thinking every day, it's like, I need to practice my song. I need to practice my song because I thought we were doing it live. And I never practiced. And my video was literally, I shot it, I think it was a Saturday morning. And I know it sounds contrived, but I threw everything into the canoe at McRae Street Bridge and paddled up and set up a tripod and because I just wanted to get a song in, and I felt super fortunate to do that just because I hadn't been playing much. So it felt just great to have this as a prompt to get me playing a little bit, and frankly, to get me out on the river with a tripod on a Saturday morning, doing multiple takes, and an hour later. Yeah, so thank you. And I didn't have to practice, and it worked out, so perfect.
Thank you, Rick. And I completely forgot about Carolyn. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna see if I can get you on here too. Okay,
Hi.
perfect.
Thanks. Yeah. I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Louisa Kratka, who's here and who played the violin on my song, who was gracious enough to come out to the river, and we trudged through the river holding our instruments barefoot and sat on the rocks. Yeah, and so it's really nice to just such a positive event, celebrate the rivers and feel inspired by the rivers and feel inspired to care for the rivers. And so I'm really glad to be here. Glad to see you all and hear lovely music. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Carolyn. And I do believe that our judges should be making their way back here. So I'm going to throw it back over to you, Arlene.
Thank you. Thanks, Danny. And yeah, everybody's back now. So I also just wanted to set another context for this too. As we've been talking about tonight, this isn't really about like winners and like losers. It's a way to engage our community in dialogue about how deeply we care for these waters that are the source of our lives. And so all of these contributions in every single aspect are like incredibly worthy and really worthwhile. And yet there's some fun in doing it in this way that, that kind of drives like audience participation and things like that. So the other part that I just wanted to mention before we pass it over to our judges is that, our festival is, hi, Everett. Our festival is rooted in our theory of change. And our theory of change, it goes something like this, is that we protect what we love. And our intention with the festival is to draw our community every year into falling in love with our two beautiful rivers over and over again, with the intention that that moves towards a sense of stewardship and care and further protection. And that, it maybe, pulls us out of like a maybe modern sense of complacency and like drives us to you know, really take care of the things that we love. And the rivers, we love them. So I'm hearing so much expression of love for these rivers. So within that, every expression of love from here through is a tremendous winner. So, but at this moment, I'm going to pass it over to our judges, and we want to. I invited each of our judges to, before we announce the winners and the prizes and that sort of thing, we've invited our judges to take a moment to give a reflection on each of the artists that have made it to the finalists. So first up, I'm going to invite Shane, who is going to speak to Rick's song. Welcome, Shane.
Thanks, Arlene. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough listening to people's music and judging it, because I've been in many contests myself and never won anything. So, but as a musician, you do it because you love it and you learn as you go. And with Rick, speaking to you directly, I really love the tone of the song, because it was actually different from all the other tones, and it to me it had a really great Neil Young feel, and the one thing that if it was for me that I would have loved to see is a little bit more of the relationship with the lyrics to just the social aspect of water. And that's the one thing I've been fighting for with all these songs. It's one thing I brought up with everyone, is just how things resonate with me with water these days. Is it's beyond water, and it's beyond the things that we normally think of water. So I loved the imagery of two rivers coming to meet in the middle of a city. To me, that was very poignant. And for me as a social worker in Guelph, I've seen the problems of what right downtown does to some of our youth, the addiction problems, all those problems. And because this was one of your first songs, as I read, that you wrote in the workshop with a few amazing writers, you know, I think there's a lot of potential, and you haven't touched it since then. I think there's a lot of potential if you wanted to go to more of a social aspect, or relate some of the aspects of the obstacles in the Aramasa and in the Speed River to social justice issues. That was the only thing. Other than that, I was like, wow, this is a great tune. And I like the resolve at the end of the chorus where it goes, I think it went to a major. It's very musical, you know, and it's a very musical song, and it drives, and that's why I really like that. I could hear Neil Young just kick and snare driving the tune, and you singing it the way you sang it. And when you started singing at the end in the higher register, I loved it. I was like, oh man, I'd sing it that way. Like, and actually, out of all the songs that were presented today, this is the one that I actually thought I could maybe sing because it was different. The other songs are more folk songs. This one had a little bit more element of rock. And I'm more of a rock and soul singer. So thanks for doing a great job. And yeah, man, good luck.
Thank you. Hey, Shane, and we can work on it together. And you can sing it. Bye.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Rick. Thanks for those comments, Shane. Those are useful and super productive. And next, I'd like to invite Katherine up, who's going to be sharing some comments with Carolyn.
Myself. Okay, I think I'm on. Carolyn, I loved this song. I think when we all met, I don't know if the all the songwriters, the contestants, the judges, and we all met on Zoom before this meeting started, and we introduced ourselves. And one of the things that Carolyn said was, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the rivers and listening to the rivers. And to me, that was what the magic of this song was. The song opens with a question, and immediately it's like it demonstrates this openness to listening to the river for answers, for comfort. You mentioned that the river is both an elder and a friend, which suggests to me that you're going to the river for wisdom and for comfort. I love that the contrast. At one point, you have this sort of agonizing question about. Oh my goodness, what's the line? What is my place on this stolen land? And it's an agonizing question. It's a difficult question. And again, there's comfort knowing that if we listen, that the river can answer questions that are that deep. And so I think that you really dug deep with this, but you kept the music light and very river-like. In fact, when I listened to it and your guitar part started, I thought, I wonder if she got the beat. Like, I mean, you were doing 16th notes, but I wonder if the gurgle of the river actually set the tempo of the song for you, because it was almost perfectly synchronized with the river. And same with the melody. It was very bubbly and straightforward. That guitar part stayed the same throughout. I love the fact that when the fiddle solo came in, the violin, it came in right after you said something, the river takes its time. I can't remember the exact phrase, but you let a whole verse go with a solo. And then you sang another verse, and then you let a whole other verse go with a violin solo. And I thought, yeah, this song is taking its time. So there was a mimicry of the river. It was really, really well done. Congratulations and bravo.
Yeah. Oh, that was incredible, Catherine. I'm going to have to say, in this moment, I'm just finding that this part of our little production here is where all the value is. It's like just hearing from you folks and your commentary directly to the incredible contributions of the contestants. So thanks for that. And Carolyn, you have a moment. Do you want to say anything here?
That was such a nice reflection. It was exactly what I was going for. So thank you, Catherine, for your astute.
I didn't
and
have
beautiful
anything to say.
Good. It felt like that's what you were going for. You accomplished it. It was great.
Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Carolyn. Next, we're going to pass it over to Alanna, and she's going to be sharing some reflections for Shannon here.
Hi. Yes, so first off, this was a beautiful collaboration between Nicholas and Shannon, and I thought it worked so beautifully together. For me, I don't hear a lot of the harp, so for me, when I hear that, it feels mystical, and then I felt that with the words of the story throughout the song, it played so well together. Hearing about the different animals coming out as the water was rising. I was not the only judge who said that they teared up when they listened to this song. That was a common theme between us. When I was listening to all of the and watching the videos, I was actually on the path down by the river, and just hearing the birds in the back. I'm glad that you left the sounds of the landscape in the soundtrack, because it was really a beautiful addition as well. I loved that this story touched on the personal experience with the river, but also the ecosystem around it. And I felt like I really loved, Shannon, the change that you put into when we heard about the thunder and the lightning, and then again with the ice jam cracking when you changed into um, that area there. I wasn't sure if it was like more the verse or the chorus, but it gave it such a lift for me and really worked well with the lyrics. And then I had a few other notes. I thought it was so beautiful. And I think you should both be really proud about the collaboration because it didn't feel like you were taking, sometimes when we use someone else's words and we're singing them, sometimes I personally cannot connect always as strongly to the material, but it felt like those were your own words and it just flowed from you. So I thought it was beautiful.
Shannon, I'll invite you here if you want to say a couple of words here. Thank you, Alanna.
Yeah, just thank you so much. That's a beautiful reflection. Yeah, and it's such a gift right now, not being able to play for people to hear that reflection back. And yeah, it was such an honor to be. It was Nicholas who reached out and said, I have this song, but I need someone to write it and sing it. So thank you to Nicholas for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, I'm talking away. I just was going to say I also really loved that the bird song was in there too. It gave it such a really grounded feel. I live the Irmas's right here and I know those songs so well. So yeah, beautiful song, beautiful sharing. Thank you. And so next we're going to invite up Amalia, and she's going to speak to Graham and Doris. So welcome, Amalia.
Hi, Graham and Doris. I really enjoyed this song. I love this chorus. It's something where it was very catchy. I'm really fixated on the term watershed, especially since in a lot of current literature, especially regarding the Me Too movement, using the word a water or the phrase a watershed moment. And so bringing things back to our lives, a watershed, it implies that there can be great change. I also found that this whole song in general is very educational, and it's something that I really hope that schools in Guelph adopt, because it tells you exactly how important rivers are in the circulatory system of land masses, feeding us back into the oceans. Yeah, and where else am I going with this? Yeah, strength is in our rivers, winding like a thread through our fields and cities, our lives a watershed. Through our fields and cities, it's also something that's very important in what's going on currently, or relatively currently, looking at the Flint River in Flint, Michigan. This is how water affects lives when we mistreat water. So yes, I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you for writing this song. It's also really awesome that you decided to write this song immediately after being near the river. So that's really cool too. But yes, very educational and really iterates the importance. And it's something that I think a lot of people at a younger age are able to understand as well. So if anybody is, in charge of educational systems in Guelph, just take these lyrics and just maybe put it into curriculums from K to 8, K to 12, really.
That's amazing. Yeah, Doris and Graham, you want to share any thoughts here?
I'll let Doris speak because she was the lyricist. I wrote the melody, and I do have another friend here as well, which means it's food time. So Doris, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks for that review. I think that's exactly what we were trying to get at with the song, is that how it connects to our lives and how important, if something happens to the river out in the city, how it affects the fields and our food and the whole chain of life. So I'm glad that came across. Thank you.
Well, thanks for writing it.
Back to you, Graham.
Okay, thanks, Amalia. I think next up we are going to have Serafina. And thanks, Doris. And next up we are going to have Serafina, going to speak to Liv and Braden of Tragedy Inn.
Hey Liv, hey Braden. So first off, absolutely wonderful performance. I loved that you guys performed by the river, and of course we're facing the river. It was as though you were singing to the water. I thought that was really beautiful. The line, "I care for water, the water cares for me," is such a, it's personal, it's such a reflective sentence, and it reminds us to be very mindful of the thing that gives us life, and that's water, and to be very appreciative of how essential water is in daily life. There are obviously, social aspects to that line as well. It's absolutely wonderful. My favorite things, though, of the performance things, I'm not very eloquent today, but my favorite part of your performance is when you both sing together. I love that. Even obviously you're doing a lot of harmonies and it's absolutely beautiful. But even when you're not, if you're singing together, it's just the power of two voices is so incredible. And I'd love to hear even more of that. And I think your songwriting in general is so beautiful and caring, and it's gentle, and gentle music can be really difficult to write. And I think you guys do it flawlessly. And I'm really looking forward to your new music. I think you guys are both awesome. You know each other, obviously, in the Guelph music scene. You guys are just great. You're great people. I hope you enjoy your cilantro chutney after or during this this event today. And I'll see you guys around. It was lovely.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Liv and Braden, if you want to join us here for a moment for any reflections.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Serafina. It's always so humbling, and I feel so grateful when I can hear feedback from an artist that I admire and respect about what we're doing, especially in a space like this where it is very positive and constructive. So thank you for taking the time and for putting that as eloquently as you did, despite what you had to say about it. And I think we all know what it's like to be speaking on these things and looking at ourselves and trying to pretend like we know what we're doing. So you did great.
Mm-hmm. Nothing more to add. Much love to everybody.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Serafina and Liv and Braden. Okay, so from my perspective, what we just got to enjoy there was like sort of, I don't know, the meat and potatoes of this event, and that was like the hearing and the sharing of thoughts, specifically. But of course, we want to like proceed to the outcomes, the way it's landing right now in this time and place. And so, without further ado, we are going to announce the way that our prizes have landed tonight. So, the People's Choice Award. So this is the one that was voted by the audience here. And I'm really amazed and glad to announce that Shannon Kingsbury has been our People's Choice Award. And Shannon, we want to welcome you to the stage to share any thoughts and reflections you have right now.
I think I have people out there. So I have to thank the people, the sweet people who are out there. Yeah, thanks for everybody. And especially thank you. I feel like Nicholas should get to say hello too, but I don't know if he can unmute. But
is Nicholas?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry if Nicholas is here. We didn't know. Let's figure out if we can unmute Nicholas. There he is.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
You are hearing me. I thought this program, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
This program on music has been so heartfelt, and it's the most wonderful program I've seen in the last 2 years on music. It's way better than American Idol. The judges are smarter and better, and I loved all the judges' performances. They were terrific. And although it was my first attempt at writing a song, I'd be dead in the water without Shannon's singing it. And I'm perfectly happy to come in. I'm glad that Shannon won the People's Award, and I'd be happy to come even second, third, fourth, or fifth in the rest of the voting.
Well, I'd have to say, if that's your first shot at doing some lyrics, like let's hear some more, because
well, no, I was thinking they're maybe too complex. The direct simplicity of the song that the couple sang with their backs to the river, I found that very touching in particular. And all of the performances just had a real steadfastness or an authenticity, quote unquote, to them, that I'm very proud to just be a little piece of a music scene for a second or two. And it's just a great show that you put on here. I thought the judges were great. I also like those two young people beating away on their drums and guitars in the dark and on the porch. That was terrific. But
yeah,
I mean, they all were good. Anyway, thank you very much for inviting me to say a word. And now I'm going to unmute, or now I'm going to mute. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you. And we've never met in person. So, yeah.
He just shared those lyrics with you and you made a song? That's really incredible. I didn't know that part of the story. That's truly amazing. Well, you really made magic out of those magic words. And so
pandemic perks. Here we are. We're in a pandemic perk. All of us together.
I live here in Eden Mills, which is on the Aramasa, and as I heard those lyrics, like I wondered, I don't know where he's referring to, but that feels like my home experience here. And so it felt like it touched me personally, like really, but I also just appreciated the storytelling in it and the way it coupled with your incredible musicality. So clearly that's what our folks are really sending our love to. So thank you, Shannon. It's amazing.
Thank you, people. You made my day, all of you.
Nice. All right, so moving right along, we are now going to step into our third place winner. And so this is what was adjudicated from our judges, which we have heard, it's not an easy task to do. And of course, everybody here, is being recognized for what they are. But our third place winner, I welcome to the stage, Carolyn Ross. Welcome, Carolyn. Join us here. Woo!
Thank you very much. It's just a lovely thing to be part of. I'm really excited that that it exists and that we all love the rivers and that we're all sending love to the rivers. So thanks.
Yeah. And I think I've had the chance to hear that bits and pieces of that song over the time that I've known you too, like from some of the inspirations. And I know and see and recognize a particular gift that you have, which is this ability to, some people call it like catching songs, like these bits come through for you, where it's like, I think straight from, in this case, like the river. So I genuinely appreciate, you being like a conduit for that, and you bringing your talent and your
Thanks. Yeah, and to Louisa and Alicia as well for singing with me.
Yeah, excellent. Congratulations, Carolyn. Yay. Okay, now moving right along, we are going to announce our second place. And yeah, here we go for our second place winners. I'm going to welcome to the stage Liv and Braden from Tragedy Inn. Welcome.
Hey, folks. Wow, thanks. This is really lovely. Yeah, I thank you to all the folks involved in organizing this and putting it together. It's no small feat to do this in person, let alone online. And thank you to all the other people who submitted. The songs are just beautiful, and I cannot wait to see so many of the people on this call in person sometime and hear your songs resonate in the third dimension.
Love to everybody again.
Yeah. So, again, just I know you two are in some ways, maybe I might say it like this. Hopefully, it's the right context, but a well-oiled machine in terms of like a beautiful combo musical duo out there. And we really, really appreciate you taking your time and creative energy to, contribute something to this little project of ours, which we believe is about inspiring people to care more about our source waters and care more about, really recognizing the reality that our life is sourced from these very waters here. And the way your song demonstrated it was so intimate and so personal of a reflection. And we are really grateful, and congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
again.
you.
We'll see you folks downstream.
Okay, and so maybe if there is a moment, a drum roll or some kind of like fun, fancy thing. There we go. Awards, first place. There we go. That's our drum roll. And we are going to call back to the stage. We're going to call Shannon Kingsbury back to the stage for your beautiful song.
Oh my goodness.
With your co-writer as well. Here we are again. And if you have, yeah, there we go, Nicholas and Shannon. Congratulations, you have been awarded like the recognition of realizing this song that you created is really truly reflecting something that we're all feeling incredibly proud to share over the next year as a bit of our theme song for this area. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Are you going to go ahead, Shannon? You have more.
I think I'm speechless.
To do positively for the Aramosa River. We spent a lot of time there down on the winter making ice rinks and scraping, and we must have been there for many days. It's even more, it's just this past winter. And so it was an important place to me when we moved to Guelph. The song that I wrote there reflects that, but it's even more important to me now with grandchildren and children and dogs and everybody running all over the rivers. And then in the summertime, the ice goes away and you see the tires and the broken bottles and stuff littered in there. And I like the Speed River cleanup that occurs every year. I'd like to, I should get more involved in that personally. But all the things that the host has expressed about how important the waters are to us more and more every single year. I guess I just love the opportunity to try to, and I also like to try, or I love the opportunity to write a song. And I don't like the competitive nature isn't the best, but I've always learned from other sort of writing things that it actually gets you going if you have a deadline and something to do. Otherwise, you could just screw away the whole afternoon the next week and the month after that, and nothing would be done. So having that deadline was terrific. And although I've never met Shannon, do I know your sister?
Yes,
I think
you
so.
do. You do, yeah. Christina.
Yeah.
She lives across from Nora and Nathan.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not the, and I feel I've watched your video 10 or 20 or 30 times, so I feel I know you quite well. And give Shannon all the awards for this. I'm going to.
I just find it astonishing that you two have not met and that this song happened. I didn't know that piece of the story, and yet it feels like so completely woven in and intimate in that way. So yeah, Shannon, I don't know. Do you have anything further to say? I don't want to cut you.
I don't know. I'm just very touched, and yeah, as I was saying earlier, I was really nervous to come tonight actually because of contests, but it was such a gift, like the gift, and in hearing everybody, and I heard some musicians tonight that I haven't had the privilege to hear. I haven't met Doris, and I have never met. I've heard Doris. I've wanted to hear Doris and Graham. And Bonnie Trash too. So that was such a gift, such a great show. Congratulations, Arlene, Siobhan, to the whole 2Rivers team. I know you had like 30, 40 events this year. You really expanded. I've watched this festival over 10 years. I've been involved in small ways, and I'm just really grateful for the community that you've created for all of us, and the connections, and Shane walking what he talks, literally walking what he talks. So, you know, in a small way, I've been watching all of you with your activism and your art, and I'm grateful to be in community with all of you. That's all.
Yeah, so beautifully put, Shannon. Thanks so much. And yeah, I just want to reiterate too, that like all of the songs that have been shared here tonight that were the contestant songs, we would be most honored if you all feel good and comfortable with us going forward and sharing them as reflections from our community in the world, and like to our world of the love of our rivers here. And that like this particular beautiful song that has been selected here, both by People's Choice and by our judges, will be recognized as our theme song going forward for the next year. But that all the contributions all point in their interesting and beautiful ways to the care of this place that we all call home, or so many of us call home. So thank you, Shannon, and congratulations. And
thanks, everyone.
Yeah. And I love that you kind of segued really beautifully for me, because many of you maybe know that over the last little while, like again, the work of this festival to showcase and invite people into care of these local waters is really about driving our stewardship and our intention towards what is needed as a community to be activated around protecting the source of life. And it is my pleasure right now to introduce, in this era of having like, you know, desperate for live music, to introduce and welcome Shane here, who's going to play us a song. And as many of you probably know, Shane has been literally walking the talk with us at Water Watchers as part of our People's Water Campaign 2021. This is our second year of running a People's Water Campaign. The year that we are celebrating, it's the Ear to the Groundwater Tour, and it involves Shane leading walks. He's walking in terms to connect with people, to connect with the waters of places, to connect the dots between the issues that are impacting both environmental and social justice. We cannot speak about one without the other. They're completely intertwined. And Shane is an incredible example of walking the talk. So Shane, I welcome you, and let's hear your song.
Thanks, Arlene. Thank you to all of you for being here and participating, and just like helping us create awareness through, you know, like a little bit of competition. We all know we're working for the same team here, so we're all just trying to get everyone motivated to do something about it, right? You know, and I used to love competitions. Now they just causes trouble in my life, so I'll stick to playing music. But you know, because I always just like to be the best at everything, so that doesn't always work out. So you need actually 1 billion lifetimes to be the best at everything, right? So you choose your battles, and right now I'm choosing to just be honest with my life, with how I feel, what equality should look like. And equality to me means everyone should have clean water on this planet. And if we can't deliver that, then we're failing at the notion of equality. That being said, I haven't actually written a song about water, and I've been asked many times, have you written a song about water? And I can't. I don't know why. I've lived with water all my life. I grew up on the Grand River, born and raised, and water is like everything. I've been sucked out on a riptide in Hawaii, and almost never came back, and I enjoy it as much as everyone. And I think it's because I just choose to do something else with the feelings around water, and that is activism. You know, like for a lot of us musicians, our activism is in our lyrics, is in our music, and so my call is to a lot of musicians and artists is to maybe also considering starting to walk, walking the walk. Not it's easy. It's easy to make music, and I'm blessed in being born in Canada and raised as a musician and given art to express my anger or dismay at a system that doesn't always serve me. I'm thankful that I've had music. There are so many billions of people on this planet that do not have the ability to do that, or it just doesn't make a difference to anyone else. So thank you for Arlene for having me here or inviting me. Thank you for everyone at Wellington Water Watchers and this festival for making this happen. I'm going to leave you with a song for me that it's called A Revolution, and it's about a revolution in our minds, a revolution in our hearts. If we keep thinking the way we want to think, then nothing changes. And if we do not listen to our hearts, most musicians know how to do this. This is an easy practice for musicians. That's why we write music. But a lot of people just will not listen to their hearts, and they let their minds do the talking. I think it's time that we start to let our hearts do the talking when it comes to who we vote for, who we trust, all these things, who we elect to be stewards for water and for equality. So this is called A Revolution. People get ready, it's all about to change. Love's being tested through fire and rain. A revolution in the heart we need. A revolution in your thoughts and dreams. A revolution in your mind. A revolution for humanity. A revolution in love. If God is only your answer, then love your enemy true. But God and the devil just watch us to see what we're gonna do. A revolution in the heart we need. A revolution in your thoughts and dreams. A revolution in your mind. A revolution for humanity. A revolution in love. revolution in the heart we need. A revolution in your thoughts and dreams. A revolution in your mind. A revolution for humanity. A revolution in love. A revolution in the heart we need. A revolution in your thoughts and dreams. A revolution in your mind. A revolution for humanity. A revolution in love. A revolution in love. Water cares for me, and I care for water.
Woo! Thank you, Shane. Thank you for your beautiful words. Thank you for your beautiful song, and for walking the talk, and everything you bring to all of us is so very appreciated. Yeah, so I'm looking around. I'm seeing some folks haven't. Yeah, thank you, Shane. That's incredible. That here we are in Zoom land, and like enjoying so much time on it, and maybe some of us have other things we want to get off to in our world. So maybe this is a perfect time to wrap this. And so I just want to say that on behalf of the 2Rivers Festival, thank you to everyone who joined us this evening for our first ever song competition. And it is our intention to make this an annual event every 2Rivers Festival every year. And as you've heard us say before, our hope is in connecting with our rivers, that all of us feel an increased desire to steward and protect these places that we love. Please feel free to check out our Water Watchers website to learn about the many ways that you can take action to protect water. And I wanted to take a little moment to Shane's comments there, just to say that, and of course we are incredibly pleased for the offerings, and incredibly grateful to each contestant that submitted to our competition this year. And I also just want to make note of who is not being represented here, and what work we need to do as a community to ensure that the offerings that we're receiving and that we're finding ways to properly invite are actually reflective of the diversity of our community. So I welcome any thoughts on that going forward. And I want to take a moment right now, once again, to extend some incredibly sincere thanks to our wonderful judges this evening, to Amalia, to Serafina, to Alanna, to Katherine and Shane. Thanks for taking time out of your lives and taking, bringing with you to this event your passion and your interest and your commitment to musicality, and the way that you specifically took time to give reflections to each of the artists that contributed. That I think is where this event shines. And so I sincerely thank you for your effort that way. I know that we have those reflections that we're going to be able to share individually with each of the contestants as well. So that's an incredible offering you gave. I want to take a moment here because these things never happen. They look so slick sometimes on the outside. And I would like to just take a moment to pin up, and I'm going to ask you to do it. Siobhan and Danny are moving and shaking behind the scenes. Siobhan, I just want to really acknowledge you for stepping in this year as our first ever 2Rivers Festival coordinator. She hit the ground running when she landed in this position. And here we are at our final event of this year. And it's not been an easy jump in. And I just want to highly commend you for everything you've done and for making it all look so smooth and to work so well. So thank you, Siobhan. And I want to, if you can pin up also Danny here. Danny works behind the scenes on so very many, all of our Water Watchers productions, and just has this ease and grace and incredible attention to detail that makes all of these things work out. So I'd love to just send a little moment of love to these two incredible beings who make so much happen in this world. Thank you to you both.
Thank you, Arlene. It's been such a pleasure to work with you for the 2Rivers Festival, and I'm so touched with you hosting this event tonight, because it was so beautiful to hear you speak to all of the meaning that this has for you and really feel that through this event. Thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone who submitted songs too, because you made the behind the scenes work just amazing and fabulous, and to all the judges for your performances. This is why I love my job so much. So thank you.
Okay. And with that, I think we are going to somewhere metaphorically crack a bottle of champagne to wrap up this 2Rivers Festival 2021, our 10th annual festival of us just showing up to love our rivers. Well, thanks everybody for all the ways that you've participated in the festival, and please stay tuned for all of the ongoing work throughout the year, and of course for our festival next year. Big love to you all. May you get out by the shores of whatever waters are the places that give you life, and give your gratitude, and may she hear you, and may you hear her. Blessings and love to you all. Have a good night.